The Imperial Army has arrived at Garreg Mach. My job is to lead the defense of the Monastery, and I can freely use all of my best weapons because everyone's inventory gets repaired after this battle. However, everything I do in preparation here also doubles as preparation for the next mission, because there is no chance to re-equip in between. So I've considered my setup for this battle very carefully. Let's take a look. Byleth wields the Sublime Creator Sword. More importantly, he has Canto through the Fetters of Dromi, or at least he will once those get handed to him on turn 1, and he's in a class with a Stealth ability. Those are helpful here, but they're especially useful later. And he's leading the Index Sword Fighters, my 1 Retribution battalion. Claude has a Critical Ring and a Forged Killer Bow, as well as the new Goneril Valkyries battalion. He doesn't have Close Counter, instead he's got Authority level 4. Most of his player phase combat will revolve around his gambits, and Authority 4 is stronger than Deathblow. Notice also that rusted sword he's carrying. There's a reason. Lawrence is a paladin and not a warlock. Given his starting position in Chapter 13, forward movement is really disappointing, and it would be pretty bad here too. On his horse, he has a lot more to offer. He's carrying the Lance of Ruin. Its might is so high that Lawrence can one-round armored knights with it on enemy phase. Raphael is one of my major projects here. I would very much like to promote him at the start of Part 2, because Quick Riposte from War Master is such a massive boon for him. He gets 2 free levels during the time skip, so I need him to earn 3 more between this battle and the next. That's why he's carrying the Experience Gem. There are 2 enemy Pegasus Knights right in front of Byleth at the start of this map. With her Magic Staff and the bonus damage from an Adjutant, Lysithea can use Resonant Lightning to blow away one of them while stunning the other. And Luna Lambda lets her one-shot any other Pegasus Knights who might otherwise get funny ideas about doubling and killing her. Hilda is a classic Good Stuffs unit. She can one-round a fair number of enemies here, she has the bulk to survive Pegasus Knights, she has great charm with a useful gambit, her personal ability is helpful, and she has a lot of mobility. Best of all, she can do massive damage with Freikugel. Every one of those features will be on display here, and they'll carry over to the next map too. For Leone, I forged Parthia, mainly for the fun of it, because the Silver Bow can do the job too. She's providing stride, and she's also the one currently holding the fetters. Mounted movement is reduced on the stairs, but she can dismount to cover 7 spaces, and that will be enough to get into a very advantageous position. Petra's finally using that Swordmaster class she qualified for. Between Alert Stance Plus, Axebreaker, and the 20 Avoid from the Gautier Knights, she's completely immune to Axe Wielders on this map. She's another character who wants to promote immediately, in order to start learning Defiant Avoid, but she levels up thrice for free. She only needs 1 level here. Sedith is still on a mad rush for skill points, so he's holding one of my knowledge gems. He'll be leading the charge down the eastern side of the map. That's the one with the Death Knight, but as you'll see very soon, he will not be Sedith's problem. But Sedith will have to deal with armored knights, so that's why he has a hammer. Joining Sedith is Flame. She'll do some fighting in her own right, but she's also responsible for helping Raphael keep up with her rescue spell, and she'll provide support to her father with her link bonus, her healing, and her personal ability. The Caduceus staff extends her range, and because Lawrence is a paladin right now, I don't really need to worry about passing it off to the original Golden Deer. Cyril is fully embracing his role as a bow flyer. Perhaps he's giving Claude some inspiration. There are a few flying demonic beasts close by, southwest of the starting area. Cyril can more or less solo them with point-blank volley and his lure gambit. His Goddess Ring will keep him healthy even though the beasts double him. It helps that there are some green units nearby to act as bait. Ignatz is attached to Claude as my first adjutant. He's in it for the sword points, and that's why he's holding the other knowledge gem. During the reunion, he won't see a lot of combat, but his lockpicking will be somewhat helpful, and he's also packing the Blaze Gambit courtesy of the Leicester Mercenaries. That is useful. I mentioned before that Lysithea needs an adjutant to kill Pegasus Knights with her Gambit. That's going to be Balthus. As with Raphael, I'd love for him to become a War Master right after the time skip, but unfortunately he's a little too far behind to make that feasible. It doesn't help that he gets just 1 free time skip level. He'll have to catch up a little later. Ferdinand's my last adjutant. He's one of my few units who supports with Petra, so he can give her extra hit and avoid. Other than that, he's one of my mules. You can see that he's carrying both short spears so that they'll get repaired without using Woot's steel. I have a few other units doing this too, with most of my other weapons, but I won't bother showing them. Last up is Marianne. It's an unorthodox choice to bench the dancer, and she could definitely help here, but I figured out that I don't really need her. In fact, I briefly considered putting her in Trickster for the sake of Chapter 13, but I decided that I had better ways to handle everything she could do with stealth and lock touch from her starting position. So that's all 15 units on the active roster. The board is set, the pieces are moving. Just for fun, I'll let the dialogue play out here. I enjoy some of the boss conversations.
I have a report. The enemy is within the walls. They're about to break the defensive line.
We have two priorities for this battle. Protect the Archbishop and maintain the defensive line. Reinforcements should arrive soon, so just hold your ground until then.
Let's get to it.
As I said before, the Fetters of Dromi allow Leonie to walk down the stairs. Once she's there, she can hand them off to Byleth before he casts Retribution.
Much needed. Thanks for that.
Leave it to me.
Lysithea takes out the Pegasus in front of Petra. Afterward, she waits next to the other Pegasus.
Stay focused.
Byleth's Retribution covers both Petra and Claude. As long as Claude has the counterattack buff, close counter is unnecessary.
I will get the victory.
Petra needs the March Ring to get past Byleth, but once she's out there, she equips the Accuracy Ring to improve her hit rates against the Pegasi. Claude comes in to stun Ladislava and the generic warrior with his Gambit.
I'm here to help.
Like Leonie, Lawrence gains movement range by dismounting. On foot, he can reach the breakable wall. Hilda kills the archer manning the nearest ballista.
I think, yeah, I'm definitely tougher.
Let's zoom out for a second and look at our situation. Lysithea, Claude, and Petra will each fight the enemy they're adjacent to. One ballista is aimed at Lysithea. Because the Poison Strike ability works with these siege weapons, that will activate Lysithea's Vantage if it connects. The nearby Pegasus Knight is targeting Hilda and not Lysithea because Lysithea would kill on the counterattack. Two others will aim for Petra. On the west side, the other Ballistician and the Pegasus Knight will attack my allies.
Ready when you are.
Cyril can kill the warrior downstairs with point-blank volley. The problem for Team Dragoncan over here is that they start pretty far back. Flane's rescue gets Raphael into the mix.
I got this. Make.
Raphael's fists are no good against armor on enemy phase, so Seth equips him with something a little better suited to the task.
Had I room to grow?
My life was changed forever by Her Majesty. Now, I lay it on the line. For the Empire!
No use.
Lady Edelgard, I'm so sorry. I can't keep going. I must retreat.
Like Lysithea, Claude discourages further attacks because his counterattacks are strong enough to one-shot flyers. Thanks to Professor's guidance, Petra has already reached her goal level of 27.
I am greater now.
Report. The enemy has taken the entrances where the reinforcements were heading.
So long as we can recapture the east and west strongholds, we might be able to call in the reinforcements.
If you say so.
Raphael polishes off the cavalier who just attacked him. For their part, Seteth and Flame must keep using their full movement range in order for Seteth to reach his target next turn. Seteth starts by hammering another knight. That target is the archer on the southeastern ballista, which is 12 spaces from Seteth. Flame's rescue range is 6, so at maximum range she can move him just far enough to reach.
It could get rough.
Lysithea enhances her range by equipping Thyrsus, while Leone and Lawrence mount up. Now that, my friends, is what you call a one-shot.
This fight is but a sideshow to the ravaging of the sacred place that is Garreg Mach.
Yeah, whatever you say, pal. Give me that dark seal.
The time is not right. I will wait for the next opportunity.
I have to try harder.
We took back one of the strongholds. On to the next.
Fate Catherine has entered the battle.
I want to go home.
Hilda could just kill this guy, but her gambit sets up more combat for Lysithea and Balthus.
It's your call.
With another application of Assault Troop, Claude stuns a second mini-boss.
I have no choice but to distinguish myself in this fight.
You inspire.
At this position, Petra can reach Hubert next turn with Stride, and she won't need the March Ring. She could use a bow, but the Levin sword works too, and it helps her dodge the next ballista. Cyril draws the ire of one flying beast by using Lure. Afterward, he steers clear of the second beast's staggering blow.
I'm finished. I'm loath to say it, but I must retreat.
No worries, Randolph. We'll see you again soon.
I'm doing it! Progress suits me well.
Claude finally has A authority, so after the next map, he can lead the Keyhole Wyvern Company, the best flying battalion for his purposes. My green unit friends have put in some work. Now, Cyril can punch through the final barrier and take down a second health bar in one fell swoop.
I feel like I grew up a little.
Lawrence can't kill without a crit, even with a Frozen Lance of Ruin, but he can deal hefty damage and then let the chips fall where they may. In order for Flame to rescue Seteth in the correct direction from maximum range, she needs a little boost. Seteth can't defeat the Fortress Knight on enemy phase because he doesn't double with the hammer. He settles for a clean one-shot kill on the archer with the forged steel axe. By passing this wall, he triggers reinforcements. Claude must steer clear of the monsters and also the Fortress Knights. Those are the banes of physical vantage builds. Like most bishops, this one has Miracle. Claude has good chances to punch through with Hunter's Volley, but it's not guaranteed. And the problem for Claude is that his crest will heal him 30% of the time. In this case, that healing is enough to deactivate Vantage, but not enough to save him from the next attack. So I have to change my move order to avoid the crest activation.
It could get rough. Oh, nice! Who, me?
Hilda's reposition saves Lysithea 4 movement points next turn.
Let's get to it.
Before striding again, Leonie takes the March Ring.
I thank you.
Since she has Canto, that additional movement point applies immediately. As for Petra, well, if you thought she was running here in order to attack Hubert, haven't you been paying attention? Of course I'm going to steal his stuff.
Stay focused.
After taking back the Levin Sword, Byleth defeats Hubert with a single blow.
Lady Edelgard held you in such high esteem. In the end, however, it seems you are nothing more than a slave to your goddess. I can afford to fall back. We still have the advantage.
All right, we took back both of the strongholds. Let's keep up the momentum.
Fake Shamir comes at a perfect time. She and her friend can fight the next beast.
It's your call.
With all her lieutenants gone, Edelgard starts moving, and so does the remaining ballistician.
seems my proficiency has improved.
Byleth and Petra have anti-monster combat arts, and Leone has bows which are naturally effective against flyers. Together, the three of them can break down the remaining barriers on this flying beast. While he's at it, Byleth can also cut off the archer. Seteth needs major healing. Flame can give him that.
Appreciate it.
Thyrsus gives Lysithea the range she needs to pick off that Fortress Knight next to Seteth. Claude has to run away, but his Encloser art allows me to do something neat. I can always force the demonic beast to attack Seteth by having Seteth use a gambit, but if Encloser drops its movement to 0, I can make the monster attack at 1 range, so that Seteth won't need a heavy ranged axe to counterattack.
We have this covered.
Guide me well.
With the Iron Axe Plus, Seteth doesn't get doubled.
I'll aid you.
Next to Flame, he takes less damage, and he'll also break the last piece of the barrier on enemy phase. Raphael swings for the fences. Lawrence can't really reach the next monster, except with a javelin. That is, until Cyril uses Lure a second time. Cyril goes east in order to draw the monster in that direction. Depending on how things shake out, he may yet need to go to the center of the map.
I'm still not satisfied.
Be wary of the Pegasus Knight reinforcements that arrive each turn after the demonic beasts appear. The first one comes from the west side of the central pathway, but the second shows up on the east side. Hilda's current position is in range of the next Pegasus Knight's spawn point, so that's a danger zone.
I'm not hurt too bad.
Our friend on the fire orb here attacked the monster and not the Fortress Knight next to Edelgard. That has some effects downstream. Now he won't kill that Fortress Knight on this turn, but he will wound him, and therefore Fake Catherine will target him over Edelgard. Flame brings Raphael in once more. That gives Raphael the chance to earn kill experience from this monster, doubled by his experience gem. Claude pins the beast in place a second time. It doesn't matter whether he crits or not. He never kills, but when she attacks next, Hilda always will. Freikugel is just that strong.
Have faith. We've gotta help.
Lysithea takes down one of Edelgard's escorts. There's a Pegasus Knight threatening her, but I can take care of that from the other side. Byleth gets cracking on the other beast. Because of stealth, it doesn't matter at all whether he gets hit back. Petra chips away at another segment, and Leone shoots down that pesky flyer. She'll be the only valid target for the monster, too. Because of Petra's efforts a second ago, Leone's counterattack breaks another piece of the barrier. If the Fortress Knight had died to the Fire Orb and Fake Catherine had then attacked Edelgard, that would have simplified things a little. Note that green units can never kill bosses. The bosses always survive with 1 HP. Lawrence has nothing better to do, so he smashes the last wall.
Ready when you are.
Someone has to weaken Edelgard, and now that job falls to Cyril. He needs to dodge her counterattack.
You will come to regret raising your blade against the Emperor of the Adrestian Empire.
Come on, buddy. It occurs to me now that after rewinding, I could have immediately tried a normal attack from 2 range. That would have put Edelgard's counterattack second instead of third.
Let's get to it. I will get the victory.
I've managed to score some kill experience for Leonie, which pushes her to level 27.
Gotta keep him.
Okay, back to Cyril. Let's do this, kid.
You will come to regret.
Great job.
Ready and willing.
I'll be honest here, I totally overlooked Vantage on these beasts. It was a bit unlucky for Claude to get hit at all, but this was a misplay. If his crest hadn't healed him earlier, Claude would have died here for no reason. He could have attacked from 3 range and would have been totally safe.
Have I earned no reprieve?
Freikugel's might is truly awesome with Helm Splitter. So why did Cyril have to weaken Edelgard? Because Raphael's going to bash her with his hammer, that's why. And Lysithia's warp is just the tool to get him there. I can do one small optimization here. Seteth can hand off his knowledge gem to Lysithia so that she has it 5 years from now. It's not a big deal, but it will make my numbers go up faster, so I've gotta have it. I think we should watch our final attack of White Clouds in its full glory. Hasta la vista, baby. Alright, the school year was quite a ride, and now I'll see you on the other side.